people, we have to really scrutinize the people that we're choosing to represent us, no matter which level we're talking about it, whether it be city council, county commission, school board, or the president, but especially in a position like United States Senator. And the people of Minnesota who consider themselves to be conservative, I mean, it's laughable. The vast majority of people in Minnesota who think themselves conservative just don't know what that means. But these rocks and cows MAGA types in Minnesota supported Royce White. The man's incapable of answering questions. He just can't. If you ask him anything that's not pre-scripted for him, that he can't address with a talking point, and then just vomit out a word salad of a response, he just blows right by it. He's got to have questions asked of him that he's prepared to answer. Otherwise, he's got no philosophical legs under him to stand on. He's weak. He's a weakling. He might be a great athlete. He might be, a tough MMA fighter. But in the arena of ideology, in the arena of philosophy, political or otherwise, sociological or otherwise, he doesn't stand a chance. And you're going to see that play out right here.
If you want.
Oh yeah, we're on Facebook. I forget. Okay, Zuck hasn't zucked us yet.
We've got a couple for you, Royce.
Okay.
Todd Pearson asks, why so many of the down ballot Republican candidates that backed you lost? I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily aware of that, but what I can say is there's obviously a widespread gap between the America First and Donald Trump movement and the rest of the, and everybody else, which, and this, I was going to say something about this in conjunction with Joe and Amy, but it serves this purpose as well. What's scary about where we are right now in American politics is we may be up against a 60%, a unification of the Democrats, the neoliberals, the progressives, and the rhinos and neocons. Well, that is the uniparty, right? I mean, we already accept that. Now, some of them will bite the bullet out of good faith or good conscience to say, we're going to vote for Donald Trump over the Democrat, but we're now starting to see a fractionation so bad in the party that some people are openly saying that they would rather Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Governor Walz be in charge than ever cast a ballot for Donald Trump. I mean, this is a fundamental schism.
That was a legit question asked of him by me during a live stream. That's demonstrably true. A good portion of the people who were running as outsiders on the GOP ticket, down ballot from Royce was, other than Trump, Royce was the top of the ticket in Minnesota for statewide races. And a lot of people who voted for Trump and voted for Royce did not vote for people who were backing Royce. And so we have to ask ourselves a question. If Royce is this MAGA candidate and Trump is the MAGA candidate, why did so many other people who claim to be MAGA lose down ballot from him? Especially when he puts out an episode of his show that he calls Victory Begets Victory. Like, that should have played out on primary day for him, and it didn't. A lot of his political allies, people who were running for office on the MAGA mentality, lost. They just lost. So there's something to explore there. And the sad thing is that many of these people are exploring the idea that there was malfeasance. They lost because of malfeasance. It makes no sense. And the very fact that Royce hadn't even considered the question, hadn't even thought about it, either tells us, well, actually probably tells us several things. One, he doesn't give a damn about anybody but himself. He'll do photo ops, he'll take all the support, he'll make it look like he's also supporting in turn people who are just like him, but he doesn't know these people, he doesn't know their names. He doesn't care about the outcome of their election. I would have loved to have heard him address that and go, you know what, I don't have an answer to that question, TC. I don't know why that happened, but I wish I could have done more for them. No, he just blew by it and went into one of his little diatribes. Talking points. If you listen to that over and over and over again and try to analyze it and come up with something of substance, there's nothing there. It's stuff that I've been saying longer than Royce White's been out of high school. But I've been saying it with depth. Royce has no depth. He has no philosophical legs. It's just patently clear, demonstrably clear that Royce White doesn't care about anybody but Royce White. And you are only valuable to Royce in as much as you can serve to show that you support him. And once your ability to be supportive of him or make for a good photo op is gone, Royce doesn't give a damn about you. Royce isn't going to care about Minnesota either. And there's going to be more from that interview between Royce and the guys over at Action for Liberty. And I have a lot of respect for Jake and Longbeard. But they don't ask hard questions. And here's something else to keep in mind. Royce White will never sit down with somebody in Minnesota who will actually hold his feet to the fire and make him explain his philosophy and actually dive deep into the points and push him on where he gets his thoughts and his ideas. He'll never do that. He will only sit down with friendly yes men, and then he'll sit down with bigger media outlets where he can try and bully them or then accuse them of being racist after the fact. And that's exactly what he did with Tom Hauser. And we'll be diving into that as well. So if Royce White is your guy, that's great. But you're supporting an intellectual moron.